Hello, today we are installing qTest Manager 9.7.1. We have already installed our prerequisite applications, Postgres and Elasticsearch. I have already downloaded qTest Manager. Navigate to the correct qTest folder, in this case it will be qTest 9.7, and open the qTest CTL file. I will go ahead and unzip the qTest tar file. Once that tar is complete, we will go ahead and open up the qTest CTL folder. And we're going to open the startup wizard by typing qTest CTL with a period / to indicate a script, -- offline, and hit enter. Once the wizard starts, you will hit yes or no for each qTest application. qTest is composed of 6 different components that comprise Manager, Sessions, Parameters, Insights, Launch, and Pulse. We're going to install all of them in this demo. We will go ahead and input the IP address of the database server. Because it's already installed on this server, we will just keep the same address. And we will keep the same port. We have not enabled secure connection for Postgres. We are using the default Postgres user. I will enter the password and enter the database name for each qTest, Sessions, Parameters, and Pulse. If any of the information you entered was not correctly, an error will be thrown here. Now we will move on to the Elasticsearch configuration. Again, because Elasticsearch is installed on this server, we will just keep the address the same. We are not using HTTPS, and our port is default. We will not be installing SSL in this video, but if you were, you would say yes here, and you would then enter your certificate and key files. Choose a default location for your qTest Manager data, which includes attachments and other files, as well as the logging location. I am keeping the defaults for all of these. You will enter in either the IP address or the DNS name you want to access qTest Manager by. Type in your DNS name, followed by the port if necessary. Moving on to Sessions, you will either specify a disk storage location for Sessions, which will be a default location inside the Sessions deployment folder, or you can choose an Amazon S3 store. We are just going with this storage today. We will keep the default storage location and the default port. For Insights, we will also keep the default port, and there is no need to modify this property. For Parameters, we will keep the default port, as well as for Launch. You will need to enter in a URL for Launch, which will use the same DNS name, followed by the launch port 3080. We will do the same for Pulse. As well as modify the log location if necessary, and then update the URL for Scenario as well. After that is completed, you can open up the qtest.config file to verify all of your information. Browse through and make sure all of the values look good, mainly the URLs and the data and log locations for each application. Once you are satisfied, go ahead and give qTest an initial startup, which you will do /qtestctl -- offline start. When qTest has finished installing, you will see the qTest has successfully started message. You will now be able to access qTest in the web browser, but for our purposes, we will go ahead and shut it down using Ctrl+C. We will install qTest as a service by running the install script as /install. Once it's complete, we can run systemctl status qTest. And you can then monitor the service and confirm it's started. Please check our other videos about configuring qTest from the UI to complete this installation. This concludes the installation of qTest 9.7.1 on Ubuntu Linux. Thank you.
Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to the Tricentis Academy channel to get the latest tips and tricks and user tutorials to help you best utilize Tricentis' continuous testing platform. For more information, please click the links in the description.